Hey guys, Saffron here. So, ever since chapter 858 came out, many theories about Elbaf have been created. But today, I've got my own theory on this topic. I believe that Elbaf is possibly an enemy of the world government. It does seem like a bold claim to make, but hear me out. Before we start off, we have to establish that Elbaf is the strongest country in the world. Because, according to Big Mom, if she had Elbaf's army under her command, she would have beaten the other Yonkos and become Pirate King already. So this clearly demonstrates the superiority and the prowess of Elbaf. Now, let's start off with my first piece of evidence. So, over the centuries that the world government has existed, surely they would have approached Elbaf for an alliance. But I actually think that either this never happened or that their negotiations failed. Why do I think this? Well, first of all, in the slave trade prices list which we saw in Sabaudi, giants were among the races being sold. In fact, they were being sold for the second highest prices. Since some of the races in the list were affiliated with the ancient kingdom in the past, such as the fishmen and the minks, we could use this logic to assume that the giants of Elbaf were perhaps also friends of the ancient kingdom and thus enemies of the world government, which is perhaps why the world government allows the trading of giant slaves. Now, if they were allied and held friendly relationships, surely they wouldn't have allowed the trading of giant slaves to go on. Now, if this argument didn't convince you, let's look at my next big bit of evidence. So, in the Punk Hazard arc, lore revealed that the world government has been trying to perfect the process of gigantification for centuries, which is why Vegapunk and Caesar attempted to do it. The world government believes that if they could gigantify their soldiers, they could gain control over all of the Blue Sea. Now, if Elbaf were in fact allied with the world government, then surely they wouldn't need to gigantify their own soldiers. Instead, the world government would have just recruited many Elbaf giants into their ranks. But clearly, this is not the case. The Elbaf giants we saw in Eni's lobby were tricked into service to work under the world government, while the giants we saw in Marineford weren't stated to be from Elbaf. So, my theory is that it's a possibility that the world government views Elbaf as a threat since it's currently the most powerful nation in the world, and thus considers Elbaf to be an enemy, which is why they seek to gigantify their own soldiers. They want to get on an equal footing with the warriors of Elbaf, or more likely, try to surpass them. Now, you could argue that Jagodi's soul was a D, and yet he worked with the world government. But, if I remember correctly, he said that he didn't share the barbaric traditions that the warriors of Elbaf did. From this, we can't really tell for sure whether he was from Elbaf or not, but since he's a D, there's a possibility that he was. Also, Monkey D. Gob is a D, and yet he works for the world government. Now, for the last bit of evidence, let's look at the final road poneglyph theory. Many theorists have been arguing that since Shanks is a Yonko and he has connections with Norse mythology, then he must be protecting the road poneglyph, which must be located in Elbaf. So far, excluding Whole Island, poneglyphs have been seen in places that were proven to be linked to the ancient kingdom in the past. We know that the ancient kingdom was the enemy of the 20 kings who founded the world government. So if we go by this popular theory that the last road poneglyph is in Elbaf, then Elbaf must be an enemy of the world government, since they could have been friends with the ancient kingdom in the past and still refused to cooperate with the world government. Now, I want to say that I had a final point that I could have argued, but I felt that if I did, I would have been diving into my other Elbaf theories, which I don't want to do for now. I've got a few great theories on Elbaf currently, but I guess I'll talk about them another time. Anyway, hopefully my argument convinced you that Elbaf is an enemy of the world government. Please tell me whether you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed this discussion, feel free to like and subscribe to keep up to date with my future theories. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.